there, chipmunks! Welcome to the AMP Cycling Ride Review Series. I'm your host, Angry Chipmunk, and today we're back in Norway taking on the Trollstigen from Åndalsnes route. This route is available on Rouvy, so let's get right to it. This is a moderately low-length route at just 21 kilometers, but with a bit of climbing at 976 meters. The whole ride averages just 5% and maxes out at 14%. This route does fall short of the coveted 1,000 meters of climbing, but this ride is still plenty challenging and well worth doing. There's only one Strava segment included on Rouvy, but there are 6 on Strava itself. They are a strange mix of segments, with some that are the partial climb, one that's a long mix of the flat and half of the climb, and one of the climb itself. There is only the one climb in this route, with several smaller hills along the way. And as the segments on Strava don't make much sense, I'll just go over the one included on Rouvy. The start of the route is reasonably flat, with just those smaller hills up to the main climb. There's a good mix of uphill, flat, and downhill, so it's not too bad to push along at a pretty decent speed here. The hills along here max out around 9% and are all really quite short. Almost half of the route is the climb itself, so you'll only be doing about 155 meters of elevation gain before you get to it. The start of the climb is at the 10.7 kilometer mark. It's about 10.5 kilometers long, with 821 meters of elevation gain. The gradient math says that it averages 7.8% and will peak at that route max of 14%. Unfortunately, the segment starts about 3 kilometers and 270 meters after the climbing starts. It is Trollstigen, it's at the 14 kilometer mark, is 7.2 kilometers long, with 549 meters of elevation gain, averaging 7.6%. Strava considers this one to be a Cat 2 climb. This was a hidden segment on PC, so you may not be able to see it on the app. The nice thing about this climb is that it is fairly consistent. There's a bit of gradient changes, but not heaps, so pushing up at a steady pace is easy enough to do. There's a large section right in the middle where you're mostly seeing 6 to 8% for an extended period of time. I find that climbs like this are a bit easier to pace my energy expenditure than ones that have heaps of gradient change. And at just under 3 kilometers to the top, the gradients back off to a flat section and then stay pretty steadily in the 7 to 8% range till the end. With this being such a steady climb, I would highly recommend keeping your head on a swivel to take in the beautiful scenery. The summit is the end on this one. And for this ride, I would suggest a moderate warm-up and very good cooldown. The start isn't overwhelmingly taxing, but it's still pretty hilly. And with the final 10 kilometers being uphill, you'll definitely need a very good cooldown. And as always, I recommend pre-fueling your rides and including plenty of protein with that. If you can't pre-fuel, have 10 to 15 grams immediately at the start of the ride. This should hopefully show up just as you hit the base of the climb. And if you have pre-fueled, you probably won't need anything until the climb itself. Since this is a pretty steady grind, I would suggest just fueling with smaller, faster acting carbs. I find that smaller, more frequent intakes to be better than one big hit that I'd then try to burn off. And definitely follow this one up with a protein and magnesium. The views on this ride are second to none. Norway is an amazingly beautiful place, and this ride does not disappoint. Straight away, you're seeing mountains in all directions, with most of the route having low-hanging clouds for company. Eventually, you climb up above them out into clear blue skies. There's plenty of mix with the roads going through little towns, and closed forest roads, plus the mountain climb. And there's things that I would never see in Australia, like moss or grass growing on the roofs of some of the buildings. There's waterfalls cascading down the sides of the mountains, and even a little lake up at the top. Hands down, one of the most beautiful rides on offer, and be sure to watch out for the roadside trolls. I went at a moderate pace for this one, and completed it in about 1.5 hours on 100% difficulty emulation. I would say that with needing a pretty good warm-up and cooldown, to budget anywhere from an hour 15 to 2 hours, depending on how fast you are. It is a bit deceptive with the short distance that it might not take that long, but as the only good place to stop and but I wouldn't suggest this route for anyone with time constraints, especially as the only place that you can really stop and start again is within that first 10 kilometers. Overall, this is an amazing route that I would definitely recommend for the climbing enthusiast. It does fall short of the 1,000 meters, but the climb itself and landscape more than make up this one. This could be a good transitionary climbing route, but nearly all of the elevation gain is in that final 10 kilometers. If you've done similar distance climbs with lesser elevation, this one would be a good next step. And if you're a climbing pro, you should just do it anyway. For this route, I give a 5 out of 5. Gorgeous route with hardly any traffic. The mix of roads and lack of other cars give this one a very immersive feel. Worthwhile toggling the on-screen data so you can just ride along with the ride. For the climb, 5 out of 5. It's not the most difficult gradient-wise, but the distance makes it more challenging. For the views, 6 out of 5. Absolutely stunning views. The transition from foggy to bright and clear is amazing. The waterfalls coming down the sides of the mountains are amazing. The 360-degree mountain views are amazing. Simply just one of the best rides out there. And overall, 5 out of 5. Definitely put this one in your ride queue. Great route, great views, challenging climb. It's got everything. Well, that's it for this review, so thanks for watching, Chipmunks. Let me know what you think of the Trollstigen from Åndalsnes route if you complete it, and let me know when you find the giant trolls and hidden lake. I'll leave you to finish the rest of the ride, and I'll see you next week for another review. Until then, ride on, Chipmunks, ride on.